Hello, and welcome to another episode of Painting in ASMR. Today we will present to you the continuation of a painting in ASMR mode. And remember, the only difference between Dali and a crazy man is that Dali is not crazy at all. And well, here we are on another chapter of the ASMR sessions for you. As you can see, the Ballerina painting has had a few minor alterations. Right here, the foot, the leg of the ballerina, the man looking to the front, the mantis religiosa right there, right here. The two companions of the mantis religiosa, the woman walking by and the man sitting on a chair, and the other man sitting on a chair. But there's been a few alterations, and we will continue on doing those minor alterations at this very moment, just for you. Yes.
And here we are, once again, in our session of ASMR painting just for you. We are on a voyage to the center of painting, on the making on this oil on canvas, adding titanium white to the face of that character on the top of the painting. This ballerina in the center of the room painting has now had a few minor alterations which were effectuated just now, actually yesterday, to go on the journey that this oil painting represents. The canvas is about 90 centimeters by 90 centimeters. If I am correct, then it is about 85 centimeters square, just about, at an angle. So that's why you're not seeing the actual squariness of the canvas, but those are the measurements of this canvas, of the vessel through which the image will be conveyed. And now let's add some more titanium white to the body of this new character that we have added only yesterday to this canvas on the upper right hand side. And here we are. We're going to add a bit more of this new tube of titanium white. And now let's spread the paint. Let's spread it all over, yes. Let's put it here and there, and let's give this character some light, some texture, some volume, some form. Let's spread this paint all over, allowing the paint to slightly mix with colors that are still a bit fresh. What have you? Still a bit fresh. And we are now adding color to the stomach and the side of the body of this character. On the left hand side of the painting, bit of paint to the hand, bit of paint to the fingers, bit of paint to the forearm, bit of paint to the stomach and the body in general of this character, who's holding an instrument which he is inserting in the mouth of another character. And here we go, we're spreading the white a bit more, a bit more on this painting. giving it light, and defining the new characters that have been entered into this canvas, into the scene. The ballerina almost covered completely, and we are now adding white to the face and body of this new character that's been added below the human looking character above, with a wide open mouth, being attended as if with dentist tools. We're going to take a bit of white from up there, from the chest of this new character, and we will be adding it down below the body of this female character standing below. Getting a bit of highlights on the body. Let's get a bit more white. Let's take that little spade, why not? Spread the white. Communicate the white to the lower part of the body of this new female character. Spread that color, spread that volume, there we go, up to the knee, beyond the knee and below the knee of one leg and the other. Take a bit of color from up there, from the chest of the character above, being dentally treated. And then we add a bit more brush strokes to the character, a bit more on the shoulders, a bit more on the chest, a bit more on the neck, on the necky neck, like you would say. We're going to add a bit more of light everywhere and volume to this new character. We're going to spread the paint on the side of the legs, yes. And now let's take these two rather small brushes, a number 10 above 0, rather, yes, 10 above 0, I believe, something like that, small one, and the other one's a number 3. To spread the paint just a bit more, yeah? Now let's get a bit more of colour there, a bit more white. Little surprised the tube was so brand new that it was sealed, and I did not have the proper tool to open it. So just going to fetch the other titanium white, because I already wanted to start using the zinc white. In this session we will introduce the use of zinc white. And here we are, spreading it in, yeah. Those brush strokes visible. You can visualize the brush strokes. It's not all completely wiped off, all those brush strokes. They're visible. Sometimes brush strokes can be spread out and it just looks like gradients and nebulosas of color. But in this case, we will let the brush strokes show. And here we go, a bit more for this new female character as well, at the very center of the picture. And a bit more for this female character below the man being operated on. We're going to give volume to that thigh of the center person on the picture. And we're going to give a bit of volume too to the thigh of the other character. We've got her arm there being painted in, a bit of detail, a bit of volume, a bit of presence of that arm. The picture. And now we keep on spreading the paint all over. There we go, a bit of volume, a bit of transparency, a bit harder presence of the color, yeah. We now have a bit of a ghost there, a ghost of a female picture, like that, kind of a female-looking character with a mouth wide open, as if quite surprised, the eyes quite wide open. And there she is, and we're going to use this paint as well to give detail to the thigh of the other character, the central character. Spreading the paint about, yeah. Gonna give a bit of shape to this other character, the man who was standing next to the ballerina. He still is. You can still see the ballerina's legs there. And the tutu, the sort of transparency looking skirt on the waist of the ballerina. And let's give a bit more shape to the woman there, who's holding up her own head as she's sort of going to sleep on the seat where she is going. And there she is with her eyes closed, very tranquil, not really thinking about the difficulties of falling asleep in public transport, which could be quite a lot. A lot of people fall asleep in public transport and they dream of things. But it is quite dangerous actually to fall asleep in public transport when you're going on a bus or on the subway. It is just not recommendable at all. It's just too dangerous to do that, shut one's eyes and lose conscience as one is traveling. Sometimes it's good to profit and use the time that one needs to use going from one place to another, especially if it's a long trip. But it is not so good to be kept and found off guard, unconscious, just like that in a public place so full of people who are moving so frequently and rapidly. So we go on to the other top picture, to the top part of the picture on the right hand side with the female character, filling her in with white, and as we can see there's quite a bit of sedimentation of blue, and with this color she's being defined. She's getting some definition on those thighs and those legs, on the forearms, on her arm connecting to the shoulder and the shoulder to the body. We can see a pretty defined ribs there on the rib cage of this female character. And now we keep adding light and definition. We give this character dimension by adding shadows to the right cheek of this interesting looking, I suppose, kind of lady who's a bit different to a lady because she has 3 arms. That's all going there, yes. Now let's give more color to the ankles, right there, bounding with the heads of these creatures that we've known for a while, the Mantis religiosa and her 2 companions. And there we go, defining the waistline, defining the chest, defining the line, and defining everything. And here we are, adding a few brush strokes down the body of this other character, this female character, posing on the top side, and behind her we can see a classical looking factory with a chimney. Not very well defined, but it is right there. It is right there, a factory with a chimney. And now we are starting the definition on this structure, which is actually a computer, the screen of an old computer. Here we go, adding a bit of titanium white, why not, to start defining the space, to start defining the building behind the woman. Let's just close down that tube and get ready to start spreading the colors and to mix the colors and to define forms and shapes with this technique. So I am adding this white all over. I am now adding titanium white, if I'm not mistaken, but a bit later on zinc white will be added too. zinc white will be used in this painting. But right now, I went for the classical titanium white to keep on doing the painting, spreading it all over, yeah? So very close to this very dark area on the right hand side, there's actually a lot of white being added to define the shapes, to define the bottle there, to define that kind of column looking pedestal, that small looking column. And right now we are giving definition to this thing, which it's actually a trailer to move things that are liquids of industrial origin, derivatives of petrol that are going to be moved up and about on this trailer. And then we spread the white towards the dark blue, the burnt sienna. There might be a bit of black down there, so it's going to start mixing in with the white. And we take the white and keep giving some definition to the factory there. Take a bit from down there, spread it upwards, and we keep painting like. And so now we're giving a bit of definition to the trailer, to the pipe, large looking car that takes liquids inside of it, and it goes here and about delivering gasoline, as it could be, or other types of fluids. Quite flammable, by the way, and immensely polluting. And there we go, let's define that arm with a bit of white paint on the outside. Let's keep adding that color, defining the arms, defining the front side of the factory. Let's keep adding some detail below, a bit on the windshield of this rather large car, and a bit below the windshield. Let's just take some white from up there, and then we'll spread it down there. And we've got to deal with a lot of black and dark blue that the trailer actually has. But before that, let's keep painting the factory there. Let's keep giving a bit of white to the factory. So after that, we can probably look for other colors, a bit darker. But for the moment, let's just add our classical titanium white to define the whole scene, of course. So we now have more characters, we now have more color, we now have more elements all over, a few instruments in there, column too, and the presence of some chopped off trees on the top left hand corner of the painting. I have a little buggy wuggy there on the bottom part of the insects. Yes, there we go. Now we have 2 insects instead of 1. At the bottom part of the skull being held up by this kind of curvy looking spike. And we have this definition furthermore of the floor and on those buggies, who will definitely be on the whole finished version of this painting. Let's keep adding detail, white all over, and the brush definitely gets a bit, takes some color from here and there, and as I paint through, let's see, yes, we're preparing to add more paint on other areas, such as the top area where I'm adding a bit of tree stumps right up there, the tree stumps, the friendly tree stumps, and one more female character there operating the computer. operating the computer, which has a cable that comes out and is plugged in the woman's mind, on the other woman's mind. And a bit more. And there we go. Let's spread some color all over to find this character at the top center now of the painting. We now have about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 characters there, without counting the 2 buggy wuggies on the bottom. And here we go. Let's give it a go there with the titanium white. Let's give it a go with the titanium white, yes. Mixing it with the other colors as we add it. And let's give some direction to the body of this character. Let's give the body of this character some purpose there with the computer and the keyboard and the screen, while the other character of the woman in front of the factory is posing there as if she were looking at something astounding, with her 2 arms in one side and only 1 arm on the other. Here we are, fixing some detail, of course, adding titanium white, or maybe the first bits of the zinc white. Maybe those are the first bits of the zinc white. At some point in this session, I went and got the proper tool to open up the zinc white, and I managed it. It's just had to puncture the little thing when you add some new color. When the color is brand new, you have to puncture it because it's sealed, which is cool. It's nice and sealed so that the paint won't go dry before time. And here we go. We're painting a bit on that cable coming from the head of the woman towards the computer, or shall I say, going from the computer towards the very head, and that programmed the program, and actually towards the cable going towards the very head. It would be an interesting thing to say that head programmed the program, but it is a bit of a matter for the philosophers, because really the woman controlling the computer with the cables connected to the other woman's head, actually it could be said that those cables are programming the woman standing with 3 arms and a bottle below her. So here we are. Yes, let's add a bit of color to that computer, why not? Let's define those lines, let's define the shadows, let's define the light, let's make it a bit more one color on one side, one color on the other, and we're defining the actually also at the same time the woman next to the computer and the tree stumps, of course. Right now we're on the tree stump up there, giving it color, giving it form, giving it light, giving it volume. And there we are, adding a bit of titanium white with this burnt sienna to mix it a bit and start making the tonalities of those tree stumps. And there we go, getting a bit of paint there everywhere, right? Everywhere. And let's paint a bit more, shall we? Let's give those tree stumps some more brown, some more yellow, some more dark yellow, some light brown, and let's spread the color here and there. When we are happy with the color here on the tree stumps, we might want to take a bit of that color and put it somewhere else, and put it on the computer, and put it on the characterinos. So we're going to paint at the same time the computer, the tree stumps, and some details from the people standing there, which is the new compositions that we have completed on top of the other composition. I painted quite a bit on top of what was already painting, and this method has happened for the second time on this painting already. When I did the ballerina, as you could see on the other video, I think it's part 2 of this series, so maybe it's even part 3 that begins with a short time lapse where we can see the progress of this video. And there we go, adding a bit more details to the belly of the man, using the tools for dental intervention. Let's paint over this character here, giving it a bit of suggested shadows here and there. Yeah, think of it as paint from down there and put it on the face of this character. Let's place some more titanium white there, and let's also take some dark coloring and make some shadows around the eyes, some shadows in the mouth, and let's use this color as well to define the wooden planks there on the floor of what still is the scene of the ballerina. The ballerina still behind these characters, dancing away as if it were, and there we go, adding more details on the floor. And here we go. Okay, now let's get a bit something else, some other oil color. Let's pick it up from there, yes, why not? And I think that we have reached the end of this chapter. Thank you very much for watching part 4 of the painting of the ballerina. See you next time for more of this painting and its evolution.